next guests are three of the most dynamic voices in politics who, through the twists and turns of life, are now coming together to form what could be one of the most unfiltered, straight talk podcasts that you've seen in a long time. Take a look.
Real truth tellers. And we're not sugarcoating anything.
Keeping it real.
On Native Land Pod, Andrew Gillum, Angela Rye, and Tiffany Cross say they are reclaiming space to talk about the issues they believe matter. Former Tallahassee, Florida mayor and rising star in the Democratic Party, Andrew Gillum, was a guest on the Tamron Hall show back in 2020 for our season 2 premiere as he was rebuilding his life after a scandal rocked his career and his family.
I'm still here by the grace of God. So much of my recovery has been about trying to get over shame.
At that time, he revealed to the world that he was bisexual.
I do identify as bisexual. And that is something that I have never shared publicly before.
Last May, a jury acquitted him after he was accused of corruption and lying to the FBI. Other charges were dropped. Now Andrew is talking about it.
I'm prepared to, unpack a lot of this, but you gotta stay tuned.
Andrew Gillum, my governor. I want to know how you have lived 3 lives since the public has last seen you.
Angela Rye is a self-proclaimed truth bringer-in-chief, an award-winning host, legislative lawyer, and social justice advocate. She's tackled issues as a political commentator on CNN and as a special correspondent for ESPN. Tiffany Cross is a political analyst and cable news veteran with her own show on MSNBC called The Cross Connection before her headline-making unexpected exit in 2022, prompting outrage among her followers and fans.
So find out you standing on business.
Absolutely, all day. All day.
Welcome home, y'all.
Welcome home.
Please welcome the host of Native Land Pod, Andrew Gillum, Angela Rye, and Tiffany Cross. Congratulations. Good to see you as well. Hello, sir. Good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Oh. So, funny thing happens. 3 outspoken people walk into the Tamron Hall show to talk about their podcast. Whose idea was this?
Angela. I wish I could claim credit for it. Our good brother, Leonard McKelvey, also known as Charlemagne the God.
Charlemagne's idea.
Yeah.
Because I know you've all known each other for a long time. Yeah. You both worked together successfully on a show. So Charlemagne comes in with the idea, but I know 3 of you can't be convinced to do anything you don't believe in. So who was in first?
Angela was in first, and Angela approached me and Andrew separately with the idea. As you know, Angela and I are good friends, machetes all day. And when she called with the idea, because she's been such a loyal, wonderful friend, anytime she calls, it doesn't matter what the request is. She's kind of like you. I just know the answer got to be yes. So I was enthusiastic about joining.
I love it because, first of all, the origin, since Angela was just on, of the name of the podcast means something different for all 3 of you. For you, it means...
There's a stanza, the last verse in the National Black Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, true to our God, true to our native land. And for us, we may not have a deep connection to the motherland, although we feel it spiritually. Here is what we've built. I have a saying, we built this joint for free. We are not confused. So this is our native land too, and we're here to reclaim that.
I love that you... The format of the show is the 3 of you talking about all things. It's not just politics, it's culture, it's life, it's the journey. And I also love that Angela said to you, you've lived 3 lives. I'm going to say 9. But you've lived 3.
The cat's only got 9.
And you navigate these waters, I think, so graciously, because of course I read everything. Our friend Joanne Reed posted about the podcast and how wonderful and celebrating this moment. But we all know, we're all mature, everybody doesn't root for you. Yeah. Not everyone wants to see you have a comeback. And that's not you, that's all of us right now at home. There's somebody, even your family, who does not want to see you have a comeback. And here you are with this comeback. This show is twists and turns. Yeah. Is this what you imagine the comeback would look like?
Tamron, I have to tell you, honestly, no. Okay. But I also don't necessarily feel like a comeback as much as I feel that God has in his majestic and all-knowing being, maneuvered my life with the intention of getting me closer to serving out his fullest purpose, which is to be of service to his people in whatever way.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, the crushing experiences are leveling.
Yeah.
You
People are
get to the
rooting for
point
you.
where you can tell everybody else that they should never ever be judged forever by their worst day.
That's right.
But
right.
it took
That's
me
right.
3 years to receive that into my own heart. And so what I would say, and I know you didn't ask me this, but God has shown me too much of real life for me to be pumped up on superficial things.
How about that? How about that?
Too much of real life.
How about that?
I don't care what you do, who blames you for it. Your worst experiences that you've ever had in your life that you never thought you would come from. They thought you were dead, but they didn't know we were seeds.
Hey.
You can never take an action. You can never take a step. You can never do a thing that makes it okay for you not to be loved.
Yeah.
And for grace not to be extended
Right.
your direction.
Absolutely. And that's why in the interview, when we did our interview in 2020, I said, I don't want to do an interview with you that you can't show your children
That's real.
when the time is right. And they are now big kids now. You have Caroline, Jackson, and Davis. This is a good RJ. I talked with her the other day. And you are thriving just like
Can I
with,
take credit first? I'm photo credit.
oh my God. Photo credit, Dad, photo credit. Tiffany,
Dad.
you know, I've known you since MSNBC. That's where Angela and I met. We have this common thread of this
Yeah.
experience. We also have the common thread of people reacting
Yeah.
to our departure from the show. But this is your next chapter, your next act. It's a lot about culture. And I thought about you. I saw this clip of Denzel Washington, and he made the distinguishing line between race and culture and how people don't get culture, which is a big part of this podcast.
Yeah, I agree. And first, let me just say thank you, Tamron. We actually give Tamron a shout out on the first episode because.
Oh, y'all do? Wait a minute, what
yes,
y'all say?
ma'am. We do. We do.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Props today.
Oh, yeah,
It's live now.
It's live now?
You can
Live
download
now.
it now. You can download it now.
Okay, so go right
Yeah,
now while
Native
watching
Land
this. You can
Pod.
chew gum
Yeah.
and walk at the same time.
Yes.
Get
Download
Native
it.
Land right now while Tiffany
Yeah.
is answering the question.
Yes. So you'll see what we say about you. But yeah, you know how it is at in network television, network news, and I think what we all have in common is we are unapologetic truth tellers who are living in service to liberation. And I think it's interesting that when you do that unapologetically, there are forces at play whose intention it is to silence you. And so we're not here, we don't stand for ourselves, we stand on behalf of a people, on behalf of the rising majority of America. And so we wanted this podcast to be a home, be a place where people can come and hear, and to your point, it is a difference. As you and I well know, all skin folk ain't kin folk. And so just because somebody looks like me don't mean they're not a tool of the oppressor. And so here, we don't have to navigate those same precarious waters to talk about a topic that is relevant to so many people in
So
America.
the reason why I'm excited about this, for many reasons, and I'll just be very transparent, there are a lot of podcasts that are mostly dominated by white males. If you
Yes.
look at the podcast landscape, it's like 1% of the podcasts that are out there are representative of people of color. That is a fact. I've written a new novel, a crime novel. We just had a meeting about how they say, well, black people don't read crime. And I'm like, well, on the news, you make us seem like that's all we talk about is crime.
Right.
And so I think it's interesting because I'm going to be very honest with you. I do not think this podcast would exist if it were not for the collaboration of all three of you. I have been in offices where they don't bet on us.
Right.
And if you don't bet on yourself, you lose.
Right.
And so I'm happy that you are betting on yourself in this form. Because I'm just real. I mean, and you know this about me. There are executives that will be like, oh, da, 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 and then put on lesser talented people and pay them more.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you, I will tell you, again, Leonard had this idea. He's like, sis, I want to do this podcast network. We found it, Reason Choice Media. Leonard, I, and Chris Morrow. And what I
Funny when you call him Leonard. I can't take this.
That's what his mom named him. That's
I just know
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne.
But his name was Leonard. And so what I would say to you is, he bet on us. He bet on us with Black Effect. He bet on us with this particular platform. And what I know is that we'll always show up. When the release came out, the iHeart execs, we love y'all, but it's the truth. They were shocked. They were like, oh, we didn't know it was gonna be like this. We knew. We knew from the beginning. They were like, we don't know if we'll get an exclusive. You will, right? Like we were never confused. And what I know is that folks have been waiting for this. You talked about people not always rooting for you. The response was overwhelmingly positive, not just by our community, but by folks who miss these voices. I miss these voices.
The
so I'm
people
excited
who
to
are
sitting with
rooting
them.
for you are the people who are meant to be listening to you. That's what I always say.
Sure.
So congratulations on.
Can we say, Tamron? Not only are they the ones meant to be listening to us, but I believe this thing's gonna work so divinely that people who never thought they were interested in political podcasts and lifestyle podcasts will be attracted to it because they're gonna see the miracles that come from second chances, third, fourth, fifth.
I love it. I love it.
We say welcome home, y'all.
We say welcome home. Well, welcome home, y'all. You can come back anytime to the Tamron Hall Show. Andrew Gillum, Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross. Right now, it is live. New episodes of Native Land Pod out every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast. Put it on the